Tell me how anyone thinks this number is a realistic monthly payment for a student loan. I've been paying on my loans for 7 years. I'm in the public loan forgiveness program, and look what my monthly payment is supposed to be based on standard repayment. How are people affording this?
All right, so this says this plan allows you to pay the entirety of your loan via fixed payments, at a minimum of $50 over your loan term, 10 years for most loans, but it is usually longer for consolidation loans. So her monthly payment went up to $4,698. Total to be paid off by November 2031 is $375,292. Depending on how much you took out, this right here shows the problem with the income-based repayment plans. You never ever pay enough to even cover the interest. And I didn't know this, but it's only based on the initial income she makes out of college. Meaning if she gets a raise, her minimum monthly payment doesn't necessarily increase. So there's no recertification process, which means if she gets a raise, she still gets to keep her monthly payment exactly the same from the day that she took out these damn loans. But we need to get some more context into how much student loans she originally took out.
Why so many of us in public service loan forgiveness are worried right now is because of the recent legislation that's coming through. So I am one who has a lot of student loans. I went to pharmacy school, graduated in 2016 with around $200,000 in student loan debt. Since then, the interest has now accumulated to make my total a little over $300,000. I have been in the public service loan forgiveness program since I graduated. I've been working at a nonprofit. If I wasn't working for a nonprofit, or if public service loan forgiveness did not exist, I would be working at a higher paying job so that I could aggressively start paying back these loans. So a lot of us know how the interest accumulates. We know.
I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. This woman had no intentions of ever paying off these damn loans. So her original balance she took out to go to pharmacy school, which is very expensive, but it doesn't have to be. Balance is $221,478. And she's been paying on it for 8 years, and it ballooned to $307,000. Almost $80,000 in interest has accrued from the income-based repayment plan. That's the problem with these plans. Like I said, you don't pay enough to cover the interest. And she's had the past 7 to 8 years to be aggressive at paying off these damn student loans. But she went into this program so that her student loans can be as little as possible, hoping that in 10 years they will be forgiven. And since she's a pharmacist, she probably makes between $100,000 to $200,000 a year. So let's just say she makes $150,000 a year. She could have paid off her loans probably 5 years ago. If you want to be realistic about it with taxes and all that, 5 years ago, she could have had these damn loans paid off already. $50,000 a year and a little bit more could have paid off these damn loans. But this is what happens when you go into the income-based repayment plan. This is what happens when you let the government dictate what's going to happen with your life. You wanted to be stuck in this program for 10 years, hoping that the government or the administration would forgive your loans. But I don't know if you've realized this, but we go through 2 to 3 presidents in a 10-year span. A lot can change in that time period. And a lot of y'all who are on this income-based repayment plan are learning the hard way why it's so important to not let the government dictate how you're going to live your life and where you're going to work. Because there are so many people who elected not to make as much money as possible by going into a public service job just so they can have these loans forgiven. When in the long run, if you had gone into a job that wasn't a public service, like the private sector, you'd probably be making double what you would at that public service loan, at that public job, and had your loans paid off quicker.
Many people are not aware, but income-driven repayment plans are currently paused, and this affects millions of borrowers within the United States, including myself. So I'm a doctor of pharmacy graduated back in 2016, and the numbers below are using the loan simulator on Student Gov. So the left-hand side is income-driven repayment, around $1,500 a month, which is still a really high payment for most borrowers, including myself. On the right-hand side, this is standard repayment. It's almost $5,000. Could you imagine if your mortgage went from $1,500 to $5,000 almost overnight? How would you be able to account for that? Many of us have been planning for years our repayment strategies for our student loans. Me in particular, I've been in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. It's a 10-year program, and I've been using income-driven repayment within that. So that's why the interest on my loan keeps skyrocketing as well, because I'm not being able to keep up with the principal amount because the interest is just compounding at a crazy rate. How is anyone doing this? How would you be able to afford it if your mortgage went this?
Well, ma'am, you can't compare your student loan payment to your mortgage payment because your student loan is based on your income. You get a mortgage, your mortgage is based on the price of the house, insurance, and taxes, and whatever else and whatnot. So, in order for you to qualify for that mortgage, you have to meet a certain income. And it seems to me like she had no intentions of ever paying off these loans, since her her strategy was to get into this payment plan, income-based payment plan, for 10 years. And with that monthly payment, she would only be paying about $140,000 from her balance, which doesn't even cover the entire balance that she originally took out for school. So she never had any intentions of paying off these damn loans anyway. Her plan was to pay as little as possible for her doctorate degree and have you and I, the taxpayers, or people who didn't go to college, pay off her loans. Does that seem fair to you guys? I don't think it seems fair to us at all. And if she does happen to get her student loans forgiven, she still gets to keep her degree and she still gets to keep her six-figure job, while the taxpayers are on the hook for $200,000. That's not fair to any one of us at all.
Everyone told us to be homeowners, but no one told us to be prepared for the $8,000 bill that was going to come for property insurance. So I bought the home in 2019. My payments were originally under $3,000, and every single year it's increasing. Just look at these numbers. We're homeowners in Broward County in South Florida, and so curious to hear what.
Okay, so now it's starting to make sense why she can't afford to pay her student loan payment anymore. See, like I said, she had no intentions of paying off her loan because it seems to me like she wanted to make her loans as cheap as possible so she can get this house. And this is exactly why I don't feel bad for people like this. Because instead of taking care of the student loan, she decided to go and get a house 3 years after she graduated school. So she had plenty of time to pay off these damn student loans. But no, she wanted to go get a house. Now her insurance is rising because she wanted to go get a house in lower Florida and South Florida, which we all know gets hit by at least 2 hurricanes almost every single year. And now her insurance is rising. You see how karma comes back to bite? This is what happens to people who have ill intentions, because I'm pretty sure she didn't even try to pay off her student loans. She left her payments what they were, didn't pay any more into it. She had no intentions of paying off these damn loans. She wanted to get a house. So she got the house, and now her insurance is going up $7,000 a year. Her payment for student loans went up to almost $5,000 a month. And now she's in a bind. And I don't feel bad for her at all, because she wanted to live her life and have the taxpayers cover what she was responsible for, which were her student loans. And I know some of y'all are going to be in my comment section talking about how this is not fair that they're getting rid of this program. But in reality, this is what happens when you play games with the government. They get to change the rules on you, whether you like it or not. So go ahead, blow up my comment section. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all next time.